All right, hey everybody, I am Benny.
I'm Nicole.
And we decided to start a YouTube channel because a little bit over a year ago, Nicole had a really cool idea.
The idea was that sorry. This is just funny to start this, sorry. But Benny and I have had callings in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as teachers and instructors of adults and youth and just kind of callings all over the spectrum. But over the last year, I was the Relief Society instructor, so I would teach the sisters of the church, and Benny was teaching the men, and I was teaching these lessons, and I always found to be the teacher, I really loved what what these women would share in class. In fact, I ended up feeling like I was the student, hearing what they had to say and sharing their personal experiences. And I just had a feeling one day, a prompting from the Spirit to say, you should share a snippet of your lessons online. And I was like, okay, I've shared gospel things on social media before, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess if this is what I'll do. I'm not afraid. So I went and I posted just a snippet of a lesson, and the response truly was incredible.
Yeah, and then I ended up getting involved as well, because some days Nicole and I were teaching the exact same lesson to a different group, and we would come together and we would bounce off of each other some of the things that were said and some of the things that we would inspire each other. And we realized that we were growing closer as a couple.
Absolutely.
And we decided, man, wouldn't it be nice if we could do this more often than just
once a month, or it was once every 3 or 4 months. Right.
And so as we were thinking about how cool it would be to do that, actually just this last week or a few weeks back, we were both called in our church to teach the youth. And I'm in there every day now in the early morning, and Nicole gets to be in there pretty frequently with the young women of the ward. And we decided that it would be really fun for both of us, but hopefully inspire more people to do these type of videos more frequently. And we plan on using the curriculum from Come Follow Me, from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We plan to use that loosely. Any day we feel inspired to make a video. We hope our goal and our angle from this is to strengthen our relationship, but hopefully strengthen somebody, at least one person.
At least one person. Yeah, I was going to say, and we would to share and kind of give you a little introduction of who we are and what we like.
Yeah, because we're not just robots out there
preaching the
gospel. Yeah, so I've grown up really loving Marvel comics and Spider-Man and X-Men and the Saturday morning cartoons. And earlier this year, I thought it would be it was funny. I picked up this cool little comic book. For those of you who know anything about comic books, you can see this is actually the first appearance ever of Dr. Doom from the Fantastic Four, and it's a very low grade, which is the reason why I was actually able to afford it. Normally, you wouldn't want to buy a comic book that has a rip right in the corner or that has writing all over the front, but it was attainable for me, and I thought it was actually interesting because the name on the front, Rex Shoemaker, is in pencil. So I thought to myself, hey, this will be easily restored. I could have somebody professionally erase that and maybe get a grade bump. And as I looked at the rip in the corner, the funny thing is, you look at the Fantastic Four, the woman in the Fantastic Four is in this corner, and her power is she's the Invisible Woman. So how I thought it was completely ironic and laughable that the only thing you can't see on the cover is the Invisible Woman. So when I share this with my friends and they're like, hey, I can't see the Invisible Woman, I'm like, well, she's invisible, right? And so it was a funny story for me. But as I held the comic book in my hand, an interesting thing happened. I read the name Rex Shoemaker, and it dawns on me, this belonged to somebody at one point. Wouldn't it be fun to look up the history, see if I can maybe track down who Rex Shoemaker is? So I just go ahead and I Google Rex Shoemaker comic book. And lo and behold, I find just a few years back, a man named Rex Shoemaker in Wichita, Kansas, had sold his collection of rare and vintage comic books, and he had scribbled his name on all of the covers back when he was 10. He had no idea what their value was going to be one day, but he did that so that when he would loan them out to his friends, he would be able to get them back. And so I thought it would be really neat to try and track down this guy. And so I started looking up Rex Shoemaker in Wichita, Kansas. Lo and behold, just to find that he had sadly passed away of old age just a week or two before I had gotten my hands on the comic book. And as I sat there thinking, man, I'll never be able to ask Rex, hey, did you purposely rip out the Invisible Woman so she'd forever remain invisible, right? Or ask him his days of collecting, maybe get some advice from him, or see if he had any other cool comic books that we could talk about. I sat there thinking, I'll never be able to talk to this man. And immediately I had this interesting feeling that I never wanted to have his name erased off the cover. Earlier I thought maybe I could restore it, but in an odd way it feels like taking his name off would be defacing this comic book. And it hit me as I'm holding it that just like this rare comic book, we're all the same. We all feel a little bit scribbled on. We're all torn apart a little bit. We all have a haggard cover somewhere, but we're all extremely and uniquely valuable to God, in the eyes of God. And we all have a very unique story going on under the cover. And that's what makes this comic book so valuable, is the rich and unique story going on underneath. And I just have a testimony that I wanted to share with you guys, that you are special. If you feel ripped up, torn apart, or haggard on the outside, that you are extremely precious and extremely valuable. And I wanted to relate that back to my comic book here.
Yeah, so he's definitely into comics and stuff, which
Nerd.
is fun. Nerd.
Right.
And a little bit about me is, not only is one of my passions that I love the gospel of Jesus Christ, but I am a photographer and I love taking pictures, and it all has to do with lighting and like getting the perfect exposure for the setting in whatever you're in, whatever setting you're in. So like whether it's like school pictures, it all has to deal with light. So I love photography for that reason, and just like looking through the lens, I don't know, it just has a lot of meaning for me as well. And as well as I love to dance, like I find that like I'm honestly going back and living like being a kid again, because I still love to dance. I love to do makeup. I love to do hair. I love to dress up to the nines. Like I love it. I don't know why. It's just fun for me. And I feel like those little things that bring us those joy, like you should do them. Like if you loved soccer at one point, you should go play a game of soccer if you can, like it's honestly doing those little things, like, and enjoying our passions that give us that joy.
And Nicole had a really cool experience earlier this year while we were driving, I think it was to Utah to visit our family. She had the impression that she should use her talent of taking pictures to try and uplift and inspire others.
Yeah, so we were driving to Utah, and I just felt like this flood of information and like what my Instagram needed to be, because it was just a portfolio of all the pictures I was taking. And not that I was like gaining traction or anything, or like really getting referrals from it or anything. I just had this like inspiration to like have it be a page of light. And as I was like writing things down and recording myself, trying to like figure out, because I did some things I wrote, but a lot of the times I recorded myself. And I just figured that if I could just help bring joy to one person, it brings me joy. Like the fact of like what our family does sometimes is we bake brownies or bake treats on Sunday and go deliver them to people. Like even if it's just one or two families, I feel like if you bring a smile, like, have I done any good in the world today? Have I helped anyone in need? I truly like love that, because I feel like that's the greatest sense of joy you have. And the scripture from that is, if you, how does it go? It's, if you have done it unto the least of these, ye have done it unto me. And I'm just like, it's not about thousands of followers for me. It's not about making money off ads. Like, honestly, my purpose is to bring joy to the one.
Exactly. And so if you ever see Nicole's post online, because I'm her biggest fan, right? She's so cute. And a lot of times you could look at somebody's Facebook or Instagram page and think to yourself, oh man, this person has it figured out. I'm here to promise you that she doesn't. We don't, right? No. The reason we're doing this, and the reason we've named our channel a light in a storm is because we've gone through the storm ourselves. It's been incredibly hard past couple of years, which you'll get to know us if you follow this channel at all.
Yeah.
But we feel like that our challenges this year have definitely brought us closer to God and Christ if we let it. And that's what we've been trying to do. And that's what we hope to do for anybody who chooses to.
Or closer
follow us.
together as a couple.
True.
I mean, several things that we felt with individually as well as a couple, experiencing the loss of Benny's brother due to a drug overdose, and also wrecking both of our cars in the same year, and having our children break expensive electronics that we still have not had fixed, by the way.
Did you mention the water damage?
The water damage we've had,
drywall?
that's been going on for 2 years, creating mold.
A slow leak that we had no idea. And, all these things, because, month after month we're sitting here being like, is this year over yet?
And then a job change on top of that as well.
So many different things happened this year, and we could have looked at all of it as a negative thing, but as we've turned to gospel principles and looked to Christ, we have turned these difficult situations into building upon
triumphs, really.
Yeah, and turning them into gains for ourselves. And that's our hope.
Mm-hmm.
If you decide to follow along, hopefully our videos will get a little bit better, a little bit more structured to them, and hopefully inspire just one person every single day. That's our goal.
That's our goal, is just to help someone do something to help themselves or to help others, to invite everyone to do something for someone. And It's truly that song, like, to go out there and see someone in need, like, go look for opportunities. They are all around. They are all around to help just the one.
Yep, and that's our invitation to you today, is do one thing nice for somebody else to uplift them. And hopefully we'll see you around, and let us know if there's anything that you'd like to see us do, and we'll just evolve with this. So I hope to see you guys on the next one.